Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for waking up with Bunny. Let's talk about what's going on in the news feed today. I've got my coffee. I've got my water. I've got my computer. I just realized that I hadn't actually set up my. What are we supposed to be calling Twitter right now? Would someone please clarify this? That would be great, because I don't know if I can just call it X. That doesn't make any sense. Seriously. Sexy beasts. Let's talk about what we see. Let's see if we can decipher some stuff this morning. I'm going to go to one of my lists just for fun. Let's see if we can discover some different folks this morning. Okay, now here's actually a pretty good thing to talk about. Let's talk about the kinds of dates, or the kinds of travel locations that work best with different kinds of people. Now, this is not suggesting that you should go on big lavish vacations. Everything works for someone, but there are beach people, there are mountain people, there are city people, there are people who prefer more rural areas. And I actually have had several friends, girlfriends, female friends, who were dating people who were completely like the polar opposite of like their preference of travel companion, travel destination, kind of time spent, all this kind of stuff. For example, if you're dating a single mom, she probably can't up and leave at a moment's notice. If you're dating a single mom, she probably can't stay gone for 10 days every single time you leave town with very little notice or little regard to the fact that there are kids at home that need to be taken care of. They need attention. They need your quality time, all this stuff. So, are you a Vegas person? Are you a Paris person? Are you a city person? Are you a rural person? What kind of environment do you like to travel to? This is as important as, do you like to travel in the first place? Because poorly matched relationships even extend into things like this. Like, how do you like to travel? How well do you travel together? What kind of destinations do you prefer? So keep all of this in mind when starting relationships with new girls or thinking about staying in a relationship with a girl. This is as important when you have a rotation girl that maybe is moving up the ranks a little bit. Go on a trip. If you're thinking of maybe making her number one, or a high echelon, maybe girlfriend candidate, travel with her, do some things with her, and find out how well you mesh together outside of just the sexy and the romance. Because everyday life, you can kind of get into a vibe if you're rotation, or if you're just like hanging out and playing together. It's easy for it to be easy when it's just sexy and then she leaves. But things like this, things like travel, things like living together, which I don't necessarily recommend, very early on, make no mistake. But this kind of stuff is where the real world happens. This is also another reason why, if you are trying to make a long distance relationship a relationship, this is why I say long distance relationships are not relationships, because when you're together, you get to just be on vacation. Whether you're trying to live real life together in that long weekend or week, or even upwards of a month that you're together, you're still in vacation mode. You're bringing your best, you're not really living your real life. So keep that in mind, all of these things, when deciding if a girl is a good fit for you. What kind of vacation does she prefer? Does it match up with your perfect kind of vacations? What about her um, abilities to take off at a moment's notice, or her ability to plan? Like, all of this stuff goes into play as well. This is a great question. This guy puts up a lot of good stuff. Do you and should you open the car door for her? I think that this is a heavily debatable topic in this neck of the woods, because the red pill space, let's call it, has gotten really bitter towards classic manners. I mean, I was raised with a father who still, he's pushing 70 years old, and he still opens my car door for me every single time I get in the vehicle, into his vehicle. He opens the car door. It's a natural way of doing things. It's a gentlemanly thing to do. I think that it's still something that needs to be done, but I'm going to put caveats on this, so make no mistake. Don't trip all over yourself to have good manners. Don't trip all over yourself to serve the woman who you're with, whether you're in a more casual relationship or whether you are married with 15 kids. If you trip all over yourself, then you come at that moment from a place that looks kind of needy and desperate. My father has never looked needy or desperate whenever he's opening a car door for anyone. It's, he walks over, he opens the door, he unlocks the door, he opens the door, he waits till you've got all your feet in there and everything. He closes the door and he goes on. He doesn't run to get to the door. He doesn't say, wait, I'll get it. He doesn't pitch a fit if I've already opened the door and started to get in before he gets there. These are great examples of ways to keep your frame while also keeping good gentlemanly manners that are classic. These are as classic as can be. The same holds true for opening doors at businesses, at homes. If you get there first, it's a lovely thing to do. It's a gentlemanly thing to do. But don't run to open a door. Don't rush to open a door. Don't trip all over yourself to have good manners. Just have good manners. There's a difference. I want to kind of dig through and see what kind of comments he got on this. Opening a door, changing a tire, helping her with a heavy bag doesn't make you a simp as long as you're not being used. It makes you a gentleman. This is exactly what I'm saying. I'm just going to go ahead and retweet this because that is exactly what I mean. If you drive a truck, absolutely. Not only do I open the door, but I also help up the step by offering a hand. This is how some will test your strength. That is a sexy thing to do, and it's an excuse for connection, which is very hot. If your truck is still a little high, assistance is always recommended. I agree. This is smart. Yes. Opening the car door for her is simply a gentleman's act. Good. I'm glad that so many men are saying this. This is a good thing. Do it because you want to. Exactly. If she appreciates it, keep doing it. This is a great point. If the girl's a bitch about it, or if she doesn't say thank you, or if she doesn't acknowledge that you are using good manners by saying thank you, or acknowledging that you've done something for her, don't do it. This, it's kind of like gift giving is another example of this. If you give her gifts and she appreciates them, no matter if it's a bag of Skittles or a new car, then you can want to continue doing things like this, not tripping all over yourself, not doing more than you can afford, not doing more than you genuinely want to do, not doing it because she tells you you have to, or anyone else tells you you do, but because she shows appreciation and enthusiasm for what you do for her, and then you keep doing it. If she does not, then it's understandable that you wouldn't. Let's see. That is you being kind to her. She likes you for that. There's a difference between being a nice guy. Okay, this is a little bit off. I'm going to say there's a difference between being a nice guy, like Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Always Does Everything, yeah, this guy's a little bit off. There's a difference between being Mr. Nice Guy and having gentlemanly classic manners. I love it. Yeah, I love it. A lot of these guys are agreeing with what I was saying. So yay, 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 yay. When you don't have the words to pray, God hears your heart. That's true. What are we gonna see? Oh. Can you believe 2023 is almost over? I mean, we're 5 months away. This is talking about building your dream life in 2023, but we're over halfway through. We're almost to 24, and that's just insane. You know, I've been really focused lately on generational wealth, focusing on prioritizing your generational health and your generational ties, making sure that your family is strong. And this goes for single guys right now who maybe have no desire to be married now or ever, have children now or ever. Don't discount that just yet. Just because you're not in the season right now to think about it or to make that a goal, always remember that your generational wealth, your generational health, and the future of the family that comes after you, hopefully from your lineage, from your line, needs you to be as healthy, successful, mentally and financially stable as possible. This is where good health comes in. This is where making good decisions now. This is where choosing very carefully who you stick your dick in for the long term all plays in. So keep in mind that as you age, as you mature, most men do not want to be lifetime players, playboys, rapscallions. They want to be fathers, husbands, grandfathers. They want to build businesses and build partnerships and build families. And if you're mindful of that, even before that becomes your goal, it will go a long way in the happiness and success that you have and the decisions that you make. My goodness, he's been very busy. So let's talk about indicators of interest. So if you're on a date and she reaches out and she touches you, she brushes your arm, she touches your upper arm. A lot of times she may touch your shoulder briefly. She may touch your leg, depending on how you're sitting. So the way that Fort Worth teaches on a first meetup, ideally sit at a bar, and ideally you're at a 45-degree angle to the bar toward her. So you can be in a more relaxed position. You can have your drink in hand. You can be facing her somewhat, and she is facing you. As she gets more interested and as her guard goes down and her arousal begins to raise, she will turn towards you more. She will touch you. She will reach out. She'll touch your hand. She'll touch your arm. She'll touch your upper arm. She'll touch your leg. She may even find a way to touch your hair. Girls love to touch men's hair. If you find that she's touching your hair, that is a very good indicator of her interest in you, her sexual interest in you. Make no mistake. Girls who are asexual or do not want to cross that physical boundary or not comfortable crossing that physical boundary are not going to cross the touch boundary. They're especially not going to touch you in any of your erogenous zones, you know, behind the ears, the neck, like the waist. They're not going to touch you in any of the areas that are more sexualized places. So if she touches you in any of those, that's next level interest. That's genuinely, that's a sexual interest area. If she touches you just to touch you, that gives you permission to return the touch. That gives you an indicator that she is interested in a little bit more. So if she breaks that touch barrier first, it's a very good sign to you that she is showing you her interest. So this is a win in the playbook of dating. Oh my. Handsome men's game. She never wants to make decisions. Guys, females make decisions in work. We make them with kids. We make them at the grocery store. We make them with the menu. We make them in deciding if we're going to hire a housekeeper or just spend 6 hours a day bitterly cleaning the house. We don't want to make any decisions when it comes to going out with you. You guys need to go out and need to invite us along. This is how it works. This is how we want it to be. She may be the most badass boss bitch in her professional life, but in her relationship, she does not want to have to think about or to dictate any decisions whatsoever. She doesn't want to decide where to go to eat. She doesn't want to decide what sexual positions to get into. She doesn't want to decide move from stranger to in your bed. This is all up to you. This is all up to you, which is great because then you can stay in control of not only the date, but the relationship, which is an important way to set the relationship up for you to be the leader and the guide and the dominant man in the relationship. She can have a big personality. She can be, neat and enthusiastic. And she, like I said, she may be a boss babe professionally, but when she's in your bed, she wants you to make all the calls. She wants all of the decision making to be on you. Don't let her down, because when you let her down, when she starts making decisions, when she starts having to control the narrative, then she loses respect for you. And once a woman loses respect for you, the relationship is as good as over. You can see older married people who are together, but clearly one doesn't respect the other. She doesn't show him respect. And those are relationships that if they're still together, they're not happy. And listen, I know that you guys, nobody told you guys that life was supposed to be happy, fun, all of this stuff. You're built to work hard. You're built to take care of things. You're built to be the leader of the relationship, the family, and the world. So no one told you it was supposed to be fun, but the quality of your life with a woman who respects you versus the quality of your life with a woman who doesn't is the biggest gap on the planet. So if you're going to choose someone to be in your life, it might as well be someone that you respect, and that respects you, I'm sorry. And that starts as early as the very first date, the very first meetup, the very first sexual encounter. Lead from the front and never stop. That is my highest recommendation for you, because I want you to be respected, and I want you to keep respect and hold your frame and lead the charge. Men are here to make things happen. Get good at making things happen. She'll want to do more things. She'll want you to do more, make more things happen with her. If only I could read. That's a shame. I love that. So that actually goes very closely along with what we were just talking about. May all your soons turn into finally. Is anyone else having the longest year of your life in 2023? Be humble. You may be wrong. Be kind of okay. I read a great book by Matthew. What is that, dog? I want to say Matthew West, but that's it. What is his name? Anyway, it's called The Importance of Sleep, and it's excellent. It's remarkable to me how sleep seems to be the very first thing that falls by the wayside in especially American culture. That's where we find more time, is we don't sleep, and it's the least healthy thing. It's just as unhealthy as not exercising. It's just as unhealthy as not eating good fuel. Having good sleep saves your waistline. It saves your mental clarity. It saves your hormones, your happiness hormones, your thinking. You think, you act, you feel better when you actually get sleep. Now, I'm preaching to the choir here because I am terrible at sleep. I've always been a night owl and a morning person. It's a rough combination. Even as a teenager, I was like not a sleeper. So I have to read a lot about this because it's of critical importance, and I have to remind myself all the time to prioritize sleep. But this is a great list to kind of keep in mind, making sure that you get the highest quality sleep you can, even if you're not able to sleep for the prime amount of hours that your body needs. So keep all of this in mind, and I will add to this list that you also need to have the darkest possible room, and that is even if you have an eye mask on also, because research that I've read has indicated that even if your eyes are blacked out, having the little lights go from the computer or from your phone or from a digital alarm clock or from outside all still manages to detract from the quality of your sleep. So focus on your sleep area, your sleep habits, and make sure that you're winning in all areas of life, because you're getting high quality of sleep, not just checking hours off the box. Because just like not all food is good fuel for your body, not all sleep is good sleep. And so you need to always protect that. Let's see. Let's find someone else. Rather fail with honor than succeed by fraud. That's very good. Very good. What you believe you're worthy of, you will create. What you believe you're deserving of, you will keep. That's pretty good. blah, blah, blah. So much stuff going on. Controlling your time is the highest dividend money pays. You know, I hate to use this phrase. The older I get, the more I realize how much my time is worth. How much I realize that my time and other people's time is more valuable than running mundane errands, than not taking advantage of certain services that are available that save me not only time but often money, um, and just making sure that you are being respectful of other people's time as well as your own. I would say, along this vein, one of the best indicators of how passionate or how respectful a girl is of you is how much she respects your time, how much she respects your money. Both of these play into kind of judging how she feels about you and how she will behave if you get into something more serious with her. So even if she is fuck buddy moving into like maybe girlfriend candidate, maybe you're kind of vetting her for something a little bit more serious, someone who does a little bit more stuff with her, with you, you know, give her a little task, send her on a little errand, give her a set amount of money and see if she brings you change back. All of this stuff goes so far in just gauging how she feels about you based on how cautious she is with your time and with your money. So remember this, respect your own time enough to see how other people are valuing your time. Let's hit the main frame here. All right. I think that this is a great place. When girls say they need space, oftentimes, and this isn't necessarily how females see it when we're saying it, but it truly does mean I want something different. And often that means I want something different than you. So it means oftentimes, more often than not, that within a day or two, or definitely within a week, she will almost inevitably be riding another cock. She will almost inevitably be in any one or all of these positions that are listed in this photo. I mean, it's almost, it's just by design. It's by it's so natural. It's such a natural order of things. It's scary. This is where, if you are protective of your relationships, if you're protective of the people that you bring into your life, and if you carefully vet them for your life, you will be much less likely to be in this position where girls are vacillating in and out of your life, because a girl who is respectful of your leadership in her world isn't going to need space, because she's going to value the position she has in your life and not want anything to put it at risk. So just keep that in mind when you see things like this, or when you're thinking that maybe being you think that maybe being the leader or the director of your relationship, and if it sounds too exhausting to actually like put forth that effort, and I'm not saying this facetiously, like if you think that it sounds like too much effort to lead your relationship and to hold your frame and to do the work to be a leader in that area, then you have lost already. Keep that in mind. It's worth the effort on the front end so that you can have a longer, happier quality of life. And it gets easier. You don't always have to be a ball buster. You don't always have to, have your thumb on the pulse of the relationship. You can let it kind of flow naturally once you've established yourself, and it can kind of run on its own. It's a well-oiled machine once you've established yourself as the leader of the relationship. And then as things kind of, if you feel a shift, then you can kind of knuckle down a little bit better. But you don't have to be a hard-nosed, asshole type all the time. You just have to establish yourself on the front end and then allow the benefits of that relationship to continue. Now, in closing, I would like to invite you to please join my email list. Let me send you a bunny report, and I've got 5-star rating from 7 people. I appreciate that very much. I like to send you emails. I like to keep you informed. I'm going to put this link in the chatter box because I really would appreciate having you on that list. There's always a concern in all things dating and relationship that we may get, kicked off of Twitter, that, I may not be able to sell on Gumroad all of a sudden, or whatever it may be. There's always a risk that all of a sudden one day you won't be able to find me. And so I want you to be connected in as many ways as possible if you value my content. This is a free weekly newsletter. There is an option to pay for it on a monthly basis, $1, $2, $5, $9, but it is a free service that I do that I really like to have you on. So I invite you, please sign up for my email newsletter. And in closing, I will see you in the morning in 23 and a half hours. I've got my water, I've got my coffee, I'm heading to the gym. I hope that you go have a great workout and have a great day. What do I always say? Lift heavy things, be productive, have great sex, have a great day. Bye.